it gets, you know, you have to have a high tolerance. It's like we got some really strong flower, and a lot of people, they, you know, they can't handle it.
Flower power, nigga.
Flower power, hey. I'm first and foremost honored and stoked to be doing this interview with y'all. As a cannabis aficionado myself, you know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure to actually be talking about what we're talking about today, which is Saucey Farms and the collaboration that you, Mr. Jones, and you, Mr. Todd, have put together to bring us on 420 and then beyond. What was the idea, you know, what was y'all's first conversation when y'all was thinking about bringing this brand Saucey to life? And if you could tell us a little bit about what Saucey is.
It's a luxury weed brand. That East Coast flavor. I mean, for the most part, you know, when weed is saturated in the West Coast. West Coast is where all the weed come from, and you know, it's a West Coast culture. It's a lifestyle. New York is known for smoking a lot of good weed, but we also known for a lot of other things such as style, swag, the drip, everything that comes with the lifestyle that we persuade. So this is what this weed brand embodies, along with having some of the dopest weed that you could smoke in the fucking world.
I think we started off planning for a long time, man. We actually, 420 is going to be almost exactly a year that we're on shelves now. You know, the most important thing for us is quality. You know, that was the first thing when we wanted to bring Saucey to life, is the quality of the product. Make sure that when everyone does go out there and spend their hard-earned money for it, they get a good experience for it. And they feel like they're part of something. So for us, Saucey is more than just cannabis brand. Like you said, Jim, it's a lifestyle. Also taking really the culture that, you know, that we created and keeping it to ourselves, not for these corporations and these Fortune 500 companies. Our goal is to keep it where it should be in the culture.
On the people, with the people. I like that. That's what's up. Now, what would you say was the inspiration? Would you say that was kind of your inspiration behind the brand? You know, I mean, you described it as an elevated and quality product and experience, but what do you think separates you from some of these other brands that's, you know, trying to kind of, I don't want to say commercialize, but more or less brand, you know, weed?
Yeah, it's a great question, because obviously there's a million people getting into the industry, all trying to brand it, and they got the, you know, their branding tools. And, you know, for me, I've been smoking for 25 years. Damn. Jim's been smoking for probably the same amount of time. Damn. My other partner's been in the industry for God knows how long. And for us, we being connoisseurs in this industry and being involved since little kids, just on the consumption side, we know what a good product is. We know what people want to smoke. We know what people don't want to smoke. You know, 90% of these other companies out there, you know, the people that are controlling what you're smoking are guys wearing suits that probably never
touched the shit.
Right. Kids coming out of college that, you know, that are going to school for botany and thinking that they can run grow houses, you know.
And it's not the same, because it's like hands-on experience can never make up for like time that you put into the game. You know, they say it takes 10,000 hours to master some shit. So do you think that there's a responsibility for brands to change the image of like weed culture as a whole?
I mean, when it comes to smoking weed, man, we got to be responsible as a company. We got to be responsible. I mean, it's kind of tricky when it comes to marketing and promoting such a thing. That's why we always got to let people know the medical benefits of it. It does help a lot of people and cures a lot of ailments and put a lot of people in comfort for a lot of anxiety, depression, and all type of other things. And then on the flip side, you have kids who I might not want to market to. I don't think that it's smart for them to indulge at such a young age and shit like that. But I do not discourage anyone from experimenting with this miracle drug. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we must be responsible and we must always give back, because we're making money off drugs. And so, you know, when you're making money, the proper thing is to give back so people can understand further what your cause is and things like that. And besides us making money, we always love the people. And weed itself is a healing component. Like my man Al says all the time, weed is one of the few things that can bring everybody together. We never body beefing when they passing the blunt. You can have a killer and a priest. If they get high, they're gonna pass each other the blunt with no smoke.
That's a fact.
All different types of walks of life. plus all the tax money, all the schools that are benefiting, all the money that's coming in. There's just so much good things that are happening because of cannabis right now. It's a shame. But like Jim says, we have to be responsible at the same time.
Tell me a little bit of the science behind selecting some of y'all's products.
You gotta bring it to the table. You gotta bring it to the table and smoke. You know, it ain't no other way to do it. I mean, naturally, you can separate what's bullshit weed from what weeds look decent and shit like that, but you won't know if that decent looking weed is the bomb or not until you try it. So of course, it's always great when it's time to try some new weed, to pick some new crops. It's always, right. You know what I mean? And there's so many different flavors out there, especially in LA and up in the Bay and all them places. So it's always a weed party going on, or a testing.
A lot of research and development.
It is research and
R&D. R&D. Okay.
The basic, the way it looks, the way it smells. Obviously, you know, there's certain things you look at when we're selecting, and the most important thing is the way it smokes, the way it tastes, and the way it makes you feel. But you know, like right now we're on the other side of the country, so we're not really. It's tough for us to really taste. So we're kind of just looking at test results, looking at what the flower looks like. And, you know, and pretty much right now, just trying to, you know, figure it out with our resources the best as we can.
So let's talk about, you know, changing the weed industry for a second. Like, states are starting to like legalize marijuana, obviously, and boosting the economy through, you know, taxing the weed dispensaries. What's your thoughts of the impact on that when it comes to like motherfuckers who was arrested before they decided to make all this shit legal, you know, before they decided to dip their hand in the cookie jar and take their little cut? How you feel about that?
Everybody should be let out of jail. That's the reality. If you have a weed offense, if you got arrested for weed, there's no reason why you should be doing a single day in jail. I mean, unless you the Pablo Escobar of weed and you just doing ignorant shit and flying fucking millions of pounds across the country and just being ignorant about it, right? Then you understand some type of sentence. And even then, in reality, if there's corporation and $100 million corporations and hundreds, all these people making tons of money off of it, there's no reason one American should be sitting in jail because of marijuana.
Nah, I agree with y'all.
I feel that way. But the one thing good out of this that we've learned from being in these last weed conventions in the past couple of years is the equity program. How you say it, Al? The
equity program.
The social equity programs where, well, they do it on the West Coast now. Well, that's the place that I know they're doing it, where they take felons who've been locked up for selling weed and now give them a license to sell weed and open up a dispensary and shit like that. And Correct. This is true fact, and it's proven. It's
what?
We got receipts. Like, we've met a few people that own their own dispensary from after being locked up blocks away from the same spot that they got the dispensary for the same offense, and now they're selling weed legally. So it's called a social equity program, and it's a pretty dope program. So
that's fire. I didn't even know no shit like that existed. That's dope.
So yeah, there's a lot of programs like that, and I think every state is trying to you know, make it look, you know, cool and make them like kind of, you know, help people. But in reality, the problem is the majority that these social equity programs are going to run into, which I don't like, is that where are the majority of these people going to get the funding to open these places?
Right.
And, you know, there's a lot of, so what I like to develop eventually is, you know, try to find communities where we can try to find money and raise money for these people to help them actually do it. Because saying that they can do it, but it's like going to the hood, going to the projects where I grew up or where Jim grew up, you can give them any license you want, but they're not going to be able to do anything. Money, the resources to do anything with it. It's a very expensive thing to get involved in this industry. You know,
I'm very familiar. A couple of my homies, like I said, I done heard some of the issues that they deal with, which is something that I actually want to talk about. Like, with any startup, you know, the weed business is a business. So is there any hiccups or any roadblocks that y'all encountered, you know, in y'all's journeys that y'all could compare to either any of y'all's other industries? You know, you being a jeweler, Jones, you being an artist.
You know, it is what it is. Just like any other business, you're going to encounter headaches. And in this business, you're going to encounter more than one or two. It's constantly dealing with these headaches and dealing with these roadblocks because it's a new industry. I mean, look, we're sitting in New York right now, and the only way we can smoke, and he's in New Jersey, but we're in New Jersey, the only way we can smoke cannabis is if we get it from Jersey. So imagine you're sitting on your dinner table tonight and you want to drink a bottle of wine, but the only wine you could drink is wine that's made in New Jersey.
Or box wine.
You know what I mean?
Fuck that. That's thought wine.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's kind of like the hurdles that we're dealing with in this cannabis space, like every single day. So we have to deal. We want to sell weed in California, man. We got to grow it in California, or deal with people that grow it in California. You want to sell weed in Oregon, you have to deal with people that own it.
I can't wait till they free up the floodgate. They need the free the flower out here in these streets. I want to talk about actually the latest like lean scissor product that these dispensaries done been making. You know, I actually have tried that shit, that some of the like various variations, and it will put you on your ass. How does yours stand out, and like how did that even come together, and what do you hope to see happen from, you know, y'all's version or y'all's variation and branding that?
This lean promethazine, or whatever people like to call it, has been around for years and years, but it's been a very terrible thing for the body, and these kids are kind of killing themselves and turning into actual drug addicts, like dope fiends, without themselves knowing. So what this THC can do is get these kids off of actually using that product and use some natural products that can help them live longer, feel better, and not fuck the body up the way that other stuff is doing. On top of really can put you on your ass and you have a ball with it and shit like that. I put mine in some champagne. I just to have some fun and shit like that. But for the most part, I think that the components of it being a natural THC lean as opposed to what these kids been drinking, I think is great.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons I think we develop, you know, majority of these products is try to help people get off of the opiates and, you know, get off of those products and get off of the real lean and try to substitute it with the cannabis product. And same thing with, you know, what we've been preaching this whole time in the sports industry, and just instead of giving these athletes, you know, opiates, finally the NFL has come around and they're going to let them smoke. Hopefully the NBA is going to be next, and just letting these guys, you know, indulge in cannabis without having to worry about, you know, their livelihood being in danger. To us, it's important because they're killing them. They're killing these athletes, giving them all different types of opiates, shooting them up with that, you know, all different
all shots and all that kind of crazy shit.
But meanwhile, they can't smoke. Can't smoke? Come on, man.
Dope, but you can't smoke. It's crazy.
You can go get drunk as hell at the bar. Go get it. Deliberately get drunk out of your face and kill yourself, but no, you can't smoke.
Can't smoke. Yeah. We talked about the Saucey lean. We talked about, you know, some of the Saucey flowers that y'all got from y'all's line that's coming up. What else did y'all got on deck that y'all is excited to talk about, that y'all can talk about? Maybe, you know, hint at some shit that's going down. Give us what's next for y'all.
It's 420. We got a big Zoom. We're gonna smoke. We're gonna try to get as many people at one time to smoke together. We got a couple of people coming through. Hopefully,
I'm gonna pull up.
Jim got a bunch of people. We got a bunch of surprises, giveaways, a bunch of shit that we're gonna do on 420. So hopefully we'll get as many people as possible come smoke at one time at 4 o'clock Eastern, and then we'll do it again at 4 o'clock West Coast time.
Oh, okay. So I get to smoke 2 times on 420.
We want to raise money too on 420 for some masks. We want to buy some masks. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna do it not only just to smoke and get high, but we want to do it with a purpose. We're gonna put it up there. We're gonna raise money and try to buy as many masks for these healthcare workers and for people that need it out here.
This is a very serious situation. Some people have anxiety. Some people have real sicknesses that it helps. Some people have cancer. Like this medicine, people need to get their medicine, and dispensaries are very essential. You know what I mean? So I tip my hat to all essential workers, period. And I tip my hat to all the dispensaries and essential workers that are making sure people get their medicine.
Like he said, you know, just like any other drugs or prescriptions, before it was recreational in California, it was only medical purposes. So it's just like medicine. Majority of the people in California use it for medical purposes, whether it's for your stomach, whether it's for your glaucoma, whether it's for anxiety, like Jim said. A lot of reasons that they use cannabis for medical purposes. And on top of that, if they consider liquor to be essential, then they damn sure
gotta consider it. I feel you on that 100%. All right, so there you have it. Thank you to Alex Todd. Thank you to Jim Jones from Saucey Farms and Extracts for coming and taking some time out of their quarantine routine to stop and talk to me. Now, if you got any questions, comments, leave them below. As usual, I've been your host, Rax Hogan, for Complex News. And I'll see you next time. Stay safe, people. Squad, gang, gang.